There we go. We'll use that for the final time. This year, we'll get back to that. The Audible. We are now in the backcourt, though, and we're glad to have you along here as we talk about high school basketball. I don't know that there's a lot of people talking about high school basketball like this, and so we're going to talk some high school basketball with you. We're excited to be here and glad to have you along. Hopefully, we'll get some people to come in and talk a little bit about what we got going on here with ASN. Again, glad to have you along. Been a great time here so far. We're just trying to get settled in for basketball, and, well, it's that time of year, that's for sure. Football season is officially behind us. I actually just got off the phone with Coach Zach Clark, and I'll be in Searcy. In between the boys and the girls game, I will be presenting the Newcomer of the Year award there in Searcy to Jacob Miles, our Newcomer of the Year award winner. Appreciate him and appreciate Searcy for allowing us to do that. And I'll be over there Tuesday night in their great facility. Looking forward to seeing the new facility there in Searcy. So glad to be there. But anyway, again, glad to have you along here. We're going to talk rankings. Also, we're going to talk about the MVP vote that's going on right now. You can vote till the end of the night tonight if you want to. And we'll just pull that up there and kind of give you the ones that are on there. If you see me looking down, I am producing my own content today. Justin has got the flu. I think he and maybe some people in his family have got the flu. So it's just going around. I know you dealt with it. I have actually dealt with it in my home as well. I've had 2 kids with it. Luckily, so far, I haven't had it, so thank God for that. With that said, you can see on our screen here, you've got Kennedy Barrett of Poen, 41 points and 14 rebounds in a win over Gurdon. Kennedy is just a sophomore, and she could be the best player in the state. Kaylee Ward, she's now the all-time leading scorer at Mansfield, and she broke that record maybe a week ago or so. Still continuing her dominance there. 6'3", 6'4", very athletic. Going to Oral Roberts University for her college there, D1 basketball. Kenzie McCarty, you can see there, she, at least at the time that we took that screen snap, she was the leader in the clubhouse there with 2,000-point barrier broken. I don't know if you've noticed or if you've watched Kenzie. She's not Mackenzie, she's Kenzie. But 2,000 points in her career. Shot 47% from 3 last year. I mean, she is an absolute marksman when it comes to that. So she was leading when we took that screen snap. We'll see what happens. You can see down there at the bottom, 3,126 votes, 126 comments, and 130 shares. It's always interesting, that part of it. People seem to love it. I'm looking over here at my monitor, by the way, because it's easier to see. Zelaya Jackson of Arkadelphia, she had 25 points, 4 rebounds, 3 steals, and 2 assists, and a block. She was filling up the stat sheet there in a win versus Warren. Warren was previously, I believe, 16-1 and number 8 in our poll last week. And Erin Akins of Mountain View, unbelievable player there. She had 34 points in a win versus Yellville. You can vote for those ladies along with, the boys here, which I'm about to pull up right now. The boys, let's see here. The boys MVP vote is out there as well. And let's see here if I can get it. There we go. Gotta grab the right one here. But anyway, Cade Brodigam of Pottsville there at 16 points, 10 rebounds, including a half-court shot and an overtime victory versus Dardanelle. Dardanelle had beaten Pottsville 5 in a row going back to the season before. That was all 5 games they played last year. They played in the equipment tournament. They played 2 times in the regular season, a district tournament championship game, a regional tournament championship game, and Dardanelle won all 5 of those. So that was a big win for Pottsville. Jude Roberts of Woodlawn had 80 points last week in 2 games, and they were both victories. They jumped up into our top 10. Both the Woodlawn Bears did. They beat Junction City. They beat Ouachita. Lane Hemphill of Rector, 23 points and 19 rebounds in a win versus Buffalo Island. Monty Mixon of Nevada, 23 points, 23 rebounds in a win versus Blevins. And then Dylan Detmering. If you don't know Dylan, Dylan's a very, very good basketball player. I don't know if Dylan is a junior or a senior, but I watched him 2 years ago as a 6 seed, beat a 3 seed, the Pottsville team in the district tournament, and wheeled his team to the regional tournament. And really, they played Farmington that year pretty hard and gave them all they wanted. So that was that guy he's really good player there at Fountain Lake. I feel like Fountain Lake's got some hidden gems that are not talked about enough, both in football and in basketball. So anyway, you can vote for the D3 Auto Sales MVP each week right here on the Arkansas Sports Network, and all you have to do is just go in there, just click the person that you want. That's all you got to do. So anyway, appreciate those that are watching right now, and we're going to go on to our rankings. And if you've got some comments, I'm going to try to keep up with our comments here as best I can. Again, I'm kind of a one-man band right now doing this today, so hang in there with me as I try to produce my own content. So I can tell you right now I'm better at it than I used to be. Anyway, so it's just an exciting time here at ASN. It always is an exciting time. I feel like we've got a lot of good things happening here. And, man, I'm telling you, all kinds of plans. I've got my whiteboard back here, and if it wasn't for the fact that I felt like somebody would steal ideas, we'd show you the whiteboard and all the things that we got happening right now. It's just a lot of things happening. We're trying to go to the top. I'll say that. We're trying to go to the top. Timothy Garcia says, Clarendon going to the state championship. They're going to win it all. The 3A8 conference in senior boys, tough top to bottom, pack a lunch when you want to play a game in one of those places. Yeah, I mean, 3A8 is always tough. That's David Bartlett saying that. So anyway, let's talk about our rankings real quick, and I'm going to pull those up on the screen. We're going to start with the 1A girls here, and we've still got Earl at the top. Westside Greers Ferry, number 2, County Line at 3, Mark Tree at 4, Taylor at 5, Norfolk at 6, Viola at 7, Scranton at 8, Emerson at 9, Wonderview at 10. Wonderview took a loss to Bradford this week. That's why they fell. Emerson jumps in right now. There's a number of teams. When you get down to the 9 and 10 spots, there's a number of teams that can jump in there and take those spots. And they're definitely Emerson was, I felt like this week, worthy. We'll see if they can stay in the poll or not. Earl stays at 1. They have right now, I think, the best collection of wins in 1A. I don't think it's close, actually. They're sitting, last I looked, they were sitting at 15-1. I think they're probably more like 17-1 now as we go through it. And I'll pull that up just to make sure that I am accurate on that. But they're having one heck of a season there in Earl. Got both of our number 1 teams right now. I think basically across the board they're number 1, and so it's a great time over there in Earl for basketball. I don't guess there's ever a bad time for basketball over there in Earl, is there? They are really, really good over there. We okay? Everybody good? Okay, just making sure. All right, gotcha. Anyway, Aaron, one of our producers, is behind the camera right now. Let's look at our rankings here again. Westside Girls Ferry, Greers Ferry, a lot of people would say, hey, they're the defending state champions. They're number 1. Again, if you look at the resume right now, I give the Earl the advantage. You know, these two teams very well going to end up meeting up at some point in the season. It's a good chance that they will. So they'll get a chance to play it out on the court. We'll see what happens. Last year Westside Greers Ferry was just so dominant, and they weren't just the best team in 1A. They were really one of the better teams around the state. And Westside Greers Ferry has a lot of good wins right now. County Line is kind of the beneficiary of a couple losses in front of them. Mark Tree actually picked up a loss this weekend. It was to a bigger school. Salem beat them 53-45. So, they didn't get a chance to move up. I didn't move them. Did I move them down? I can't even remember now. But anyway, they're within one spot, I think, no, they're actually in the same spot. They were number 4 last week. We didn't penalize them, but what we did was jumped up county line. Taylor jumps up to number 5 in the poll after last week's wins, playing really well. Norfolk drops after the loss to Westside Greers Ferry. Viola and Norfolk are going to battle it out for that 6 and 7 spots there, I feel like. And, right now Norfolk is 11-4, I think, off the top of my head. So they beat Viola. I hear that Viola was down a couple players when they beat them. So, we'll see what happens with that. As we go, again, these things always tend to work out. I get people saying stuff to me all the time. Your ranking's this, your ranking's that. I feel like that, number one, basketball's harder to rank than football. If you look back at our football rankings were right there. Our basketball rankings will be right there. Give us a week or two to kind of get it going. Let's see here. Look up Clarendon High School boys. They're going to win state. I get you, Timothy. I see you. They're in our top 10. We're actually going to talk about the 1A boys here in just a second. So anyway, that is the girls roundup in our rankings. I know that there are people that disagree with our rankings, but I promise you that I keep up with it. I'll tell you that. I've actually got a spreadsheet of every game that happens with the top 10 this week, and then we have a watch list of teams that can jump in there. So let me go over to the boys, and I've got them in there right now. Earl, the 1A boys leader right now. Let me move that down just a little bit. We'll get that. There we go. Earl, the 1A boys leader. Blevins behind Jasper. Blevins fell to Nevada this week, 83-76. Nevada got a good jump. I don't know if you've seen, but Nevada plays one of the toughest schedules in the state right now. And I'm talking about regardless of schedule. They've played a bunch of tough schools. They got 7 losses, but really I think that non-conference helped them move up the polls with that win over Nevada or over Blevins. But Kirby falls ahead of them because Kirby has beaten them. And so they'll get a chance to battle it out. Lafayette County at 4. County line falls to 7. Lead Hill at 8. Bradford at 9. Clarendon at 10. Good solid top 10 in the 1A for the boys. I think the 1A boys is going to be an interesting state tournament, to say the least. I think they're going to be really, really good. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch there at 1A. In fact, another thing that's happening this week, and I don't know if we'll get a chance to break that. I assume we will. But Thursday they're having the meeting for tournament selections, like where they're going to have tournaments. And so we're going to find out where those tournaments are going to be. So we're looking forward to that. And then we'll know where we're going to go for the state tournament at that point. And we'll start laying groundwork for that. 3A is where we've been for the last 3 years. Really enjoy 3A. Been to 5A one time. I don't think that's going to be in the cards for us. Looking at 4A, hopefully, 3A, 4A, somewhere in there. That's kind of what we're looking at. But if you'd like to see ASN go somewhere else, let us know. 6A is not available. I'll say that. So any other ones, we might be able to go to. It's just according to wherever we can kind of talk to with the AAA. So anyway, those will be coming out this week. I tell you what, Earl's great. Jasper is a very solid basketball team at 2. They've taken on some bigger schools this year and played them well. Pottsville's currently number 8 in the 4A poll. Jasper took Pottsville down to the wire in that game that they played. I believe it was at Quitman. So they're really, really good. They're going to be a team to watch for sure. Jasper girls are on our list as well. They're we're looking at them. They've played a tougher schedule coming into it. So anyway, that is for the 1A. We're going to go on to the 2A girls now. 2A girls up there right now. Poen Sloan Hendricks, Riverside, Quitman, Southside, Dirks, Barton, Buffalo Island, Ouachita, and Akron. And again, it's one of those things you get down to the bottom 9, 10. You've got people that could jump up in there. You got teams that could jump up in there. I know that there's been a little bit of talk between the Riverside and Sloan Hendricks ranking there. And again, it's just one of those things. It will take care of itself at one point or another. One's at 2 and one's at 3. That means they're both pretty good. Quitman is right up there as well. I think that top 7 in 2A, I really think that they've got a chance to I think you could probably say that any of them have a chance to win it all. I like Poen right now because I think Poen has the best player in the 2A and maybe in the state. I mean, it is possible that sophomore Kennedy Barrett is the best player in the whole state. I'm not saying that for sure. I'd have to see more evidence. But anyway, and I'm going through some of these comments that you guys made to me earlier in our post where we said that we were going to be talking hoops midday. Melbourne and Mountain View girls play, and they play tomorrow. That's a great matchup, a 1 versus 3 matchup in the 3A. And then we got Earl and Mark Tree playing each other. So that's 1-4 in the girls. The boys' matchups are always fun. Rector High School, Lane Hemphill is a force to be reckoned with. He's on our D3 Auto Sales MVP list. David Bartlett, you've already told us about the 3A8 boys. Jeff Lauer says, how about the Barton Bears, a double force to be reckoned with, boys and girls. And then we've got Shannon K. Hicks just tagging the Southside B Branch people and letting them know that we're going to be talking about them as well. Let's see here. Stephen Myrick says, hey, Stephen. He says, going to watch our EPC Warriors play Cross County tonight. Well, let us know how that one goes, Stephen. We'll be looking forward to knowing what happens there. EPC boys at number 3 in the state. Again, looking at the girls real quick. Again, I really think the top 7 are legitimate contenders for state. I think that any of them can come out, and we're going to be watching that as we go. I want to ask you one thing real quick, and you can give us some notice. I've given it some thought to actually doing regional rankings, that when we see how this thing is going to be paired up, and I mean, I guess they're out there already because regionals are always paired up the same way, but actually doing a ranking of the regionals where you can see, hey, this region, you've got these teams. And, of course, those are probably more important for the teams that are pushing for those 3-4 seeds, who's right there, who's underneath. So if you like that idea, let us know. We'll start looking at that as well. Anyway, not a lot else to say there in the 2A girls. Really, really good basketball being played in 2A, both boys and girls, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. Also looking forward to seeing where 2A state is going to be held. That's going to be an interesting thing. Let's go to the 2A boys real quick. 2A boys, Barton stays at the top. The Hector Wildcats follow. You got East Poinsett County following, Sloan Hendricks, England, Mount Vernon, Enola, Hampton, Woodlawn, Mountainburg, and White County Central. Now, there's a lot of movement early in these rankings, right? Number one, we're trying to get them right. That's the main thing. And you're just going to see it. Eventually, they will settle down. They'll slow down. So we had some movement, especially from like 6 to 10 there. I like that that top 6 there is really solid. A team at the bottom there like White County Central, I think they're pretty good. I think 2A boys are pretty good this year. The depth there. Woodlawn jumped up to 8 with their victories this last week over Ouachita, Junction City. I think they proved themselves to be there. Hampton stays in the ranking there. Mount Vernon and Enola. We're going to have Mark Buffalo is going to come on with us next week. We're going to talk a little bit about that region there and just who he kind of covers in that Conway area. looking at that 2A right there, I really think that 2A boys is going to be an interesting state tournament for sure. And, there's always some teams that we rank that won't make it, and there's some teams that we don't rank that will make it because of the regional. I mean, it's very tough to get to the state tournament through the region. Barton, boy, I tell you what, they're high flying. I don't know. There's a video there on our site right now that has Barton just dunking on everybody right now. It's crazy. Anyway. Oh, okay, Big Block. Stephen Myrick, your Big Block on YouTube. I appreciate you, Stephen. Appreciate you jumping in here, man. Big Block. The EPC tournament will be interesting. Earl, Collierville, Barton. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let us know on that. Don't count out Ouachita yet. Well, we're not going to, Lisa. Right now, there's not a lot of counting out. I'll say that. And Sloan Hendricks looks legit. A lot of good basketball being played over Northeast Arkansas, that's for sure. I mean, it always is. In the bigger areas and the smaller areas, there's always good basketball in Northeast Arkansas. So nobody right now, is being counted out right now. So anyway, what I'm going to do real quick, I'm going to take a quick break. Let me come back real quick. And we'll be back with more of In the Backcourt. We'll see you in just a second. Appreciate you for staying along with me here. Just had to take a quick break there. You see that button there on the bottom of the screen. Like, share, comment, subscribe. If you're like Big Block, join us there on YouTube. And we've had some content, paid content there that we like to get out there. We're going to have more, especially when we get closer to the time of spring football, especially if you're a big Razorback fan, especially. You definitely want to join us there. Real quick, before we wrap up the 2A there, Mountainburg is a team that kind of come out of nowhere here, and I really think that they've got a chance to maybe give a little bit of a challenge to Hector. In fact, I think they play this week. Casey Harden, I think you told us this last week. Lamar girls graduate. All 6 girls remain players last year. Just wanted to give a shout out to the ones playing this year, fighting every game. They have 0 to none playing time the 2 years prior. Their record is showing good, and they are playing, and how close games are. They've been winning in several games with overtime. Yeah, tell you what, Coach Schluterman over there, he does a good job over there at Lamar. Anyway, real quick, Jasper girls will move up the rankings. Elaine, let's talk about them real quick. One of the things Seth, I'll get that in just a second. One of the things about Jasper, and one of the reasons why they're not in the top 10 right now, they got 2 losses to Marshall. Marshall is, last I looked, was 7-11. Now I might be wrong, but anyway, that's one of the reasons why we did not rank them, at least right now, was the 2 losses to Marshall, and but they are on the cusp, that's for sure. As good as Kennedy is, check out Easton McCulloch of Farmington. She's the best women's player. You're right. I agree with that. And she is good. As good as Kennedy is, I'm biased, graduating from Point. Easton is the best player I have seen any girl in any classification. If she's not, she should be. Then I totally agree. And Kennedy's very good, too. And are they in the same class there, Seth? I think they are they not? Anyway. Got Big Block saying, join ASN today on YouTube. Hey, and I'll tell you, I like people to be on YouTube with us. That helps us out a lot. If you can go over there again, like, share, comment, and subscribe, that would be good. Let's go on here. Let's move on to 3A. I feel like we're getting rambly over here in 2A, so let's move on to 3A. And let's talk about the 3A girls rankings real quick. 3A girls, the Melbourne Bearcats are at the top for us. Greenland number 2, Mountain View 3, Dover 4, Bergman 5, Dumas 6, Manila 7, Charleston 8, Episcopal 9, and McGee 10. Same kind of deal. Episcopal, I think, is a solid team. Probably should have been ranked earlier than they are, but at 9 right now, you know, it's just one of those things. We'll see how it plays out. Melbourne, Greenland, Mountain View, Dover. Top 4 there. That's a really, really good top 4 if you haven't taken a look there. And then as we've talked about, at Melbourne on Tuesday night, you've got Mountain View and Melbourne playing each other. They're going to battle it out. That Melbourne-Mountain View boys game will be an interesting game as well. The Greenland Lady Pirates are another team right now that's very intriguing if you don't know a lot about those guys, or those ladies, I should say. They are very, very good this year. Look at a lot of their wins, only losses to bigger schools, that sort of thing. Mountain View, we saw them at the Classic. They're very good, really, really good. Dover, they're at 4. Dover has won 53 of their last 54 ball games. I mean, and they're number 4 right now. And I think you could take that top 4 and you could just kind of put them however you wanted to, and that would be right. I mean, they're really good. Bergman falls in behind them, Dumas, and those two are names that have been in the mix now for years. Manila, Charleston, Episcopal, McGee rounded out. Again, 3A girls, a very deep conference there. It's going to be a battle, and we'll see if we are at the 3A again. Aaron, what do you think? 3A, 4A, what do you think? You say 3? What if 4A's in Morrilton? You can sleep in your own bed. We'll see. We'll see who. Probably the one that we get to sleep in our bed is the one that we'll go to. But we will see here. Hopefully we'll get a chance to do that anyway. Again, you know, we've seen Bergman. Bergman's a solid team. They're in that conference with Melbourne and Mountain View. Salem is also in that conference, but Valley Springs is in that conference. Those are going to battle it out. Any kind of upset in the district tournament, and you've got a state tournament type of team that didn't make the regional. That's how good that conference is there. Charleston, only with 1 loss right now, is a team that you got to watch out for. I think Manila, they have been there now for several years. You look at Bergman, Dumas, Manila, all 3 of those, maybe not quite as looked at as Dover, Mountain View, Greenland, and Melbourne, but all 3 very, very, very good teams. And then, like I said, Charleston with 1 loss. McGee comes in this week. And, again, it's just one of those things. You kind of look at the bottom of the bracket or bottom of the rankings and you say, you could probably put 3 or 4 there. And so we'll see if McGee can last through. And let me look here. Go to 3A boys real quick. 3A boys. Again, Subiaco, Osceola, they give me heartburn trying to figure out which one is better. Right now, Subiaco stays at 1, Osceola at 2. Bergman at 3, always solid there at Bergman. The Panthers. Newport, a team that is a complete turnaround there. They come in at 5. Flippin falls to number 5 after their loss to Bergman this week. 2-point loss. I mean, that's going to be a battle again at Flippin. Maybe we can show up over there at Bergman or over at Flippin and maybe watch that game. That'd be a good one to watch. Last year we did Flippin and Melbourne. Lamar falls at 6. Lamar is a sneaky good team there at 6. Been good now for a long time. Riverview and Drew Central, you could probably flip-flop those two. Paris and Melbourne come in at number 9 and 10. Paris is a team that's playing really good basketball right now. Court Tencleve playing really good basketball, and, man, they're on the rise. Right now, you talk about the Paris girls, too, kind of in the same ilk. They're very good as well. So I think the 3A tournament, when you look at the boys' side of the bracket, you're looking at a deep, deep run, girls as well. I think you've got several teams there that second round always is good. But I'm going to tell you that second round on both sides, boys and girls, will end up being a battle there. We'll see how that ends up trending there. Let's go to 4A real quick. And I am watching your comments. Watching your comments here, trying to figure out, what's going on. You let us know. Give us, who should we be watching? Hey, Mr. Legacy's out there. Charleston is a very athletic, well-coached team. Yes, they are. Charleston's always good at everything. Even when I was in high school, Charleston was good. They were always, if Charleston was coming in the building, you knew you had to play. You had to play hard. So let's move on to 4A here. Nashville, Pulaski Academy, Forest City, Robinson, Heber Springs, Morrilton, Pea Ridge, Southside, Arkadelphia, and Shiloh Christian. Nashville remains at number 1 right now. They seem to be the most dominant team up there. Pulaski Academy and Forest City, they give me heartburn. They have played each other already. Pulaski Academy came out with a 2-point win against the Forest City team. And anyway, Pulaski Academy lost this week, but they lost at Greene County Tech. And I really went back and forth about where to rank those two. Robinson and Heber Springs played this last week. Robinson won at home 53-48. So there's going to be a time that Robinson has to go back to Heber Springs. Heber Springs, Morrilton, Pulaski Academy, and Robinson all in the same conference. We got Pea Ridge coming in the north at the top of their conference right now. You've also got Shiloh and Berryville. Right there you saw Shiloh they snuck into the top 10 there. Southside, number 8, felt good about them. They played really hard over there, and right now they seem to be the one team that can challenge Forest City. John says, let me know how or if I can help with some highlights for ASN. I appreciate it there, John. Hey, we'll talk about where we're going to end up at the state tournament again. But we'll look at that. Arkadelphia comes at 9, Shiloh at 10. Again, I think you can probably throw Pottsville into that mix as well. Pottsville seemed to be the top team in the 4A4. They're right up there at the top. Sorry, got to keep my throat well hydrated there. And anyway, so looks like not a ton of change there in the top 10. I feel like that, again, from week to week there are going to be a few changes here, a few changes there, and you just again, it all works itself out. It never fails. The rankings always work themselves out. So big time ball there. I think that Nashville and Pulaski Academy, Forest City, I think those top 3 might be a little bit separated from Robinson, Heber, and Morrilton. And then I think your next tier, Pea Ridge, Southside, Arkadelphia, and Shiloh, and I think Southside could possibly creep into that second tier there. And, again, it's a process of elimination in the tournaments. They'll all work themselves out. It always does. Moving on to 4A boys here. 4A boys, you got Mills and Hall at 1 and 2, Brooklyn. Robinson, Blytheville, Eastham, Shiloh, Pottsville, Nashville, and Magnolia. Nashville's the biggest mover right now. They went from 3 to 9. I think that had more to do with what happened behind them than what happened in front of them and their loss. I know Mills is tough. I think they beat them 68-36. Mills is tough. That's why they're number one, despite their record. But their record, if you look at who they've played some unreal teams. I mean, just the bigger teams throughout the state. And Mills is going to be a force in 4A. I'll be interested to see who can stop them because they seem to be the clear favorite to me. Hall and Brooklyn, Robinson, Blytheville and Eastham kind of fall in behind them. And then I think Shiloh and Pottsville, they're going to play each other in the regional maybe at one point. And then Nashville and Magnolia will do the same. They'll play each other. Does Magnolia, do they play? I believe they do. Do they play in the same conference? I think they do. It's hard to keep the conferences straight with basketball and football because they move around so much. I'm trying to get my internet to let me get to them real quick, and I'm sure somebody can tell me. I'm sure they do. Anyway, so like I said, I think Mills is the top spot. Mills got a brand new gym over there, by the way, brand new arena facility over there. Interesting to see what happens with the state tournament if they bid on it. That'd be an interesting deal there. Let me look here real quick. In the 4A7, yeah, Nashville and Magnolia in the same conference with Arkadelphia, DeQueen, Camden, Fairview, and Hope. That's their conference. So, again, conferences change in basketball so much. Sometimes it's hard to keep up. We got, let's see here. Mo Hightower says, hello, Martha Rojo. Appreciate Martha. Also got Blytheville looking solid from Stephen Myrick over there talking to us. And let's see here. I'd like to visit Mills as well. Yeah, both are sophomores there. You're talking about Easton McCullough and Kennedy Barrett there. Anyway, they're both, Kennedy Barrett's at the top of our D3 Auto Sales MVP vote if you want to go vote for her. So make sure that you do that. And then let's move on to 5A. I made a mistake in the 5A. For some reason, I don't know why, but when I was doing the rankings, the boys' rankings did not save, or maybe I just didn't. I'm sure it was my fault. I'm sure I just didn't do it the way it was supposed to be done. There's 12 of these. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, there's 12 of these that we do. And I guess I just didn't save it correctly. So I had last week's rankings up first for the 5A boys. I had to go in and redo those. So anyway, or repost those. So that was an issue that we had yesterday. Farmington, Easton McCullough, we talked about her, and you're right. She is going to be she may end up being a 5-star player by the time it's all said and done. Valonia, Greene County Tech, Lake Hamilton, Mountain Home, Greenbrier, Valley View, Van Buren, Nettleton, and Maumelle rounds out the top 10. We appreciate Russellville Nursing and Rehabilitation for sponsoring those rankings. And, our rankings reach crazy amounts of people. I was actually just showing the numbers to Russellville Nursing and Rehab was it last week, I guess? For one of the rankings, it reached 34,000, just one of them. So, man, there's a ton of reach there for that, which I think maybe if you count what's going on with, I think it actually is both of them there. But anyway, all that being said, I mean, you're reaching 20,000 plus a week just by your sponsorship there. Anyway, Farmington seems to be the number one overall team in the state. Valonia is always solid at 2. Greene County Tech is kind of like Valonia East. They're always good. Lake Hamilton comes in this year. I think Lake Hamilton is always solid. Very good team down there in the South, and I think that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. Mountain Home comes in at 5, Greenbrier at 6, Valley View, Van Buren, Nettleton, and Maumelle. I really like that top 4 there in 5A as contenders for the state championship. And then the question right now is can anybody beat Farmington? I mean, that's the real question. And when you got Easton McCulloch on your team, I think that the answer is probably no, but we'll see. We'll see. Newport 3A. We talked about them, Levi. We've already talked about 3A a little bit there, touched on it. Anyway, so 5A girls, it's again Farmington. Who can knock off Farmington? That's the question. Can anybody knock them off? I like that top 4. I think that that's a good-looking top 4 there. But really, it looks like Farmington. Then I would take 2, 3, and 4 together, one tier, and then I think you're 5 through 10, probably in another tier there. Mountain Home was always solid there, and so is Greenbrier as well. So, anyway, I would take that one as the clear favorite, though, right now. And then in the 5A boys, again, the one that I posted wrong yesterday, Parkview moved up to the number 1 spot. Been a long time since Parkview's been number 1 in 5A. Marion at 2, Farmington at 3. Little Rock Christian took 2 losses last week, one of them to Valonia, and just felt like that it was probably time to move them down. Greene County Tech at 5, Benton at 6, Nettleton at 7, Valonia playing some very, very solid basketball over there. Always tough at Valonia, always tough. Sheridan, number 9, and Van Buren rounds out the top 10. Van Buren's having a solid year over there in Crawford County. And if you haven't been over to Crawford County and ate at Pizza Parlor, well, I'm sorry, you probably should. The diced Canadian bacon, ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it. So if you ever go over there, you need to check it out. Anyway, you've got the best players in the state right now. Easton McCulloch probably is. Whitley Rogers is also in the girls, but in the boys, J.J. Andrews, I don't think there's any doubt right now that J.J. Andrews is the best player in the state. Just his size, strength, ability, a kid 6'6", 200 pounds, 212, 215 pounds, can do whatever he wants to on the court. He's the best player in the state, but right now, you look at Parkview on the rise again. Marion playing really well. Farmington is always tough. They're always difficult to play. Benton has been unreal over the last couple years. They come in at 6. 5A, every time that we talk about tournaments, we talk about football, we talk about basketball, everybody says 5A is always the deepest. It's always the toughest to predict. And so we'll probably have a bracket show just like we did with football. And hopefully you guys will join us for that. But that'll be a lot of fun coming up in March. And so, anyway, let's move on to 6A real quick. And hopefully we'll learn a little bit more about these teams and give you a little bit more information as we go. But Fort Smith, Northside, North Little Rock, Harbor, Bryant, Jonesboro, and Bentonville. We only rank 6 in the 6A because there's only 16 teams in 6A. It gets a little mushy after that. We have ranked 8, but that's half the class. It's to each his own. I've seen people rank as many as 10 in the class. What we found out is just it's hard to move people in and out of the rankings once you get past 8 because there's usually a clear line of demarcation there for, who's decent, who's not by that point. Northside defending state champions, they seem to be kind of coming back. It was a while for Northside to win the state championship. Now they're back. North Little Rock coming back. It always seems like usually between Fort Smith North Side and North Little Rock on the girls' side, with teams sneaking in there. Harbor Bryant right behind them. Harbor is a solid basketball team. Jonesboro is also solid. Bentonville as well. Bentonville only has one loss in state, and it's to the Dover Lady Pirates in 3A. Dover has actually beaten Bentonville now 2 years in a row in the finals of the Gravette tournament. So the only loss in state right now for Bentonville is Dover. So it says something for Dover. Bentonville's still a good basketball team, though. Dover's they're really good. And it's interesting, in the smaller classifications can compete in basketball, especially on the girls' side, more than they can in football. It's just a different world. Bryant stays at the top. Jonesboro stays at 2, despite losing to Bryant at home. Rogers at 3. Rogers having a really good year. North Little Rock at 4. Harbor at 5. And Bentonville at 6. I mean, again, you're going to be able to move some people in and out at the bottom there. But really solid bottom, or solid rankings there, top 6, really good teams there in the 7A. Bryant, defending state champions. Right now, Bryant just seems to be kind of the tops of everything right now, football and basketball. Jonesboro, I would never count them out as long as West Swift is there. I definitely wouldn't count them out at all. Rogers, again, having a year kind of like the football, just kind of out of nowhere. They're having a great year. North Little Rock is North Little Rock. They're always going to be tough. Harbor is good and Bentonville is good. So anyway, that kind of wraps up our ranking show for today. And again, we appreciate you joining us. And if you got anything you want to talk about real quick, try to get that in here. I'm looking at YouTube. I'm looking at Facebook right now. Any kind of comments that need to get out there, go ahead and put them out there, or we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. But anyway, good stuff. Again, we'll learn more about basketball as we go. Try to find out more. Actually, next week, Mark Buffalo, he'll be able to give us some more about what's happening around the state. So anyway, well, I guess looks like that's going to be it. I'm going to try to give you time to catch up because y'all are a little bit behind me live. But is there anything before we go, real quick? My dad's a preacher, and when he would dismiss church, he would say, "All minds clear." So I guess all minds are clear right now. We'll be back with Arkansas Sports Now tomorrow, and we're really going to be talking about the Razorbacks, what they need to do to bounce back from the loss that they had at Auburn. I don't put a lot of stock into that loss. You probably shouldn't either. That's just what that's my opinion. And anything else that's going on, we also would like to get the new head football coach at Harding on as well. So anyway, I think that's it for us today. Appreciate you joining us, and we'll be back tomorrow with Arkansas Sports Now.